We are T minus 24 minutes away from an FP3, which hopefully should reveal a lot more than did FP1 and FP2. It's going to kick off, and I can't wait for it. I think it will be competitive. And I think Max Verstappen is none too happy with the performance of that car underneath him. What does this mean going forward? I don't know. It's all techie. And there is news. Maximilian Verstappen. What are we talking about in the chat? It's all kicking off. Oh, yeah. And he also mentioned, Eddie, listen, I'm telling you, Eddie, don't give anyone any free marketing, mate. If you don't like them, don't respond to them, chap, honestly. Stress and rancor is indeed a gaseous substance. I will say that. And if, mate, like, what are you going to do? Sometimes you will have haters that want to talk bad about you on the internet. And if that's the case, then I don't know, if you want to clap back and say something, then clap back and say something, mate. But the last thing that you want to do is come on here and give it more air and substance than need be. But I digress. Do you know what I mean? What's going on, Jandrick? I hope you're well, Aaron. It's all techie, isn't it? All very techie this morning, Joanna. You're a legend. It's going to be a rainy day in Zandvoort. And then who does that suit if not one chap called Maximilian Verstappen, 3 soon to be 4-time champion? You know, I want to address very quickly, actually. What's going on, Chris? Good morning. Mate, it feels like it's 10 a.m. here. 10:07 is the time. And it feels like it may as well be 6 a.m. I'm not going to lie. Techie. So techie. As they're hating on Hassan. You know what time it is, right, Hassan? Gotta have broad shoulders sometimes, lest you wish to create more stress and rancor and acrimony for yourself. You know what I mean? If you're going to build a platform and make it big and have arguments and go back and forth, then some people are going to disagree with you sometimes. And, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to, you and Law, yes, a legend. Jandrick, you're a legend. Law is I rate Law a lot. I've got a lot of time for him. Listen, I'll say this much as far as the community. Anyone that you see on this channel, I've got a lot of time for. Hassan, 4 a.m. Oh, the humanity. It is 4 a.m. and I'm out here complaining about a 10 a.m. start. Oh, ye of little faith. Give your prediction for poll. You know what, Bonapartist, it's techie, this. Look, I'll say this, and again, there's some things that I've got to respond to before we get into FP3, an all-important FP3, by the way, because it's been overnight, and Red Bull have got, it's going to get techie. 2 things I want to touch on. So prediction time. In fact, let you guys tell me about the predictions, because I'm conscious of the fact that there is divergence, right? Guys, let me know who you think that the poll. And again, you're going based on 24 old evidence, right? So it's a bit techie. Let's go. You guys tell me who you think for poll. I'm gonna change. Listen, when I put these polls out, all I do is stick to the odds makers odds. But this time I'm gonna change it. There are about 3 people who were all 14 to 1, meaning 1 in 15 times. If we're doing simulation time. Yeah, you guys let me know who you think. I just can't look past Max Verstappen. I just don't know. I don't know, Bonapartist. I don't know. No, fair play, Eddie. Here is a place where you can come to vent and let it out, but free. Mate, channels have to pay for that around here these days. Some promotion. You know what I mean, Eddie? Like it's and thick skin too, Cam. Yeah, no, Dean, it has to be done right. If I've got a baby crying in the background, of course. You're doing it right when you. Yeah, Hassan, I'm not prepared to give anybody air. And listen, I will say this for I want to start the day on a positive note. This Saturday morning, 10 past the hour. I think, I will be honest, I think that for the most part, the community is one of these. It's like the F1 content creator community is rallying. There is a common enemy, and it's not each other. It's almost like Planet of the Apes, right? Like you just ape shall not kill ape. Do you know what I mean? Like got to band together here rather than kill each other. That's not what we're with. And I think if that's the way that anybody wants to go, that's their business. Yeah, Hassan. Do you know what I mean? Give your prediction. All right, so that's my poll prediction. I think. Who are you guys saying? 34% of you say Lewis. Oh gosh, we've got Lewis fans in the building, mate. I wouldn't mind it, but I think Lewis is a stretch. I'll be honest with you. I know the car's coming to him in real time, and I know the car's being better. And Mark Hughes put out a piece, didn't he, talking about all this, debunking my old theory about inertia valves and torque steer, which we will talk to at some point. But I've autocross same time as quality. Oh, Hassan, you're a legend, mate. You guys and the commitment, the level of commitment you guys show to automotive pugilism all around the world is honestly, it's heartwarming. Selvin, Hammy bubbling nicely, mate. You shouldn't back against Lewis. It's just the same way that you shouldn't really back against Max Verstappen, because any given Sunday when he's had his Weetabix, he can do something very special. Right, squeaky bum time for Red Bull. Max said they aren't quick enough. I saw Selvin. Max has been open and honest again, hasn't he? He's not having it, not pulling any communicative punches. Is our mate Max. So it's a bit and good luck at your autocross, Hassan, because it's oh, Aaron, I've got Oscar for pole. Honestly, it looks like there are 5 drivers who could put it on pole this week, and it's Techie. Charles too. I'll tell you this much from memory. Look, it was Lando was the favourite when I put out my poll. Lando was favourite. Max Verstappen was second favourite. I want to say Oscar Piastri was third favourite, and then there were 3 who were sat on 14-1. The 3 were George, Charles, and Lewis. So for your 4th favourite, pick your poison, eh? 6.666% recurring is either or all of Lewis, George, and Charles. And that's why loads of people, oh, how dare you, Cameron? Put some respect on Lewis Hamilton's name. Why can I not vote for Lewis, my driver, in this poll? You need to put some, mate. These polls happen. Normally when I do these polls, I steal the odds odds. I don't care. Like I will never ever in life sacrifice truth and objectivity at the altar of partisanship, not even that of my driver. Do you know what I mean? So no, I can't. We're riffing here. 95 of you watching concurrently, do me a favour and smash a like. We're T-minus 17 minutes away. I'm getting ourselves some proper information this session. And it is tech. I tell you what, I was going through after my diatribe on Naomi Schiff and Christian Horner, etc. Did you see that video? Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to go through that video at some point. Oh my goodness. After I'd made that video, I thought, you know what, Cameron, you need to look at some numbers. And I looked at the numbers, and normally numbers jump off the page and there's a trend, and it's kind of obvious for me to make a call, right? Look at this. All my studio and my sets just going to bits. Look at this. I couldn't get any data. So look, here's what the takeaways were from yesterday's session. Everything is close. FP1, not much you can read into it, right, because changeable conditions, rate of track evolution. FP2, though, George was quickest and Lewis was third, right? Lando second, if I recall correctly. So everything's super close. Even on the long runs and simulations, there wasn't much to take away other than McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull in the hands of Max Verstappen. Maybe 5th, Max Verstappen. But again, it depends. We're talking about the low fuel quick runs, the red label compound, soft compound tyre runs. Shocking that Max all of a sudden, I expected towards the end of FP2 that Max was going to put on a red label soft compound set and just go super quick. Remember though, I think they're using the hardest set of compound on here. I think, don't quote me. I need to fact check all this. I'll do a lot of research between now and quali, but it's in mayhem. Loyalty's dead, says Hassan, even in F1. I do remember randomly watching all the video, one of those nonsense. Mate, tell you what, Eddie, separately, I'll tell you something. I was having a chat with Mama Cameron, and she was diving very deep into the Sir Lewis Hamilton 2021 conspiracy. I just can't, mate. It's just... Cameron, have you heard some rumours that Fernando is manager of Bortoleto? is seen discussing with Sauber Bortoletto. Yeah, so Sauber seat will be between Bortoletto and Liam Lawson. Ted Kravitz has said, one of you guys in the chat, I can't remember the name, said to me that Liam Lawson has been sponsored by the New Zealand issuer or distributor of Audi cars. I'll remember the name later on, but there is a link between Liam Lawson and Audi. So too is there a link between Liam Lawson, his parent member team, Red Bull Racing, and Audi. They've got a corporate relationship, haven't they? Ted Kravitz said on his notebook many moons ago that if you go to a Red Bull event, that what you will see is transport controlled by Audi cars. They have that. They're quite close. It's when Christian Horner says that he wants to rent out Liam Lawson, or that's a possibility, then I think he's talking about renting Liam Lawson out to Audi. Sauber soon to be Audi for 2025, potentially 2026. So in the running for that last drive, Bartoletto, depending on who you talk to, and Liam Lawson potentially. It's techie, and again that will depend on Checo Perez's performance. It's going to get techie for those two remaining seats. One being Danny Rick's sabotage, says Brett. Matt's got this sandbagging. Robert, mate, I just don't know. Look, Red Bull normally come good, right? They'll go away overnight. They'll break the curfew, and then they'll have tinkered with that setup. And look, actually, we need to talk about this. 20 quid on Lewis might be a smart bet, Selvin. Might be a smart bet. What was it last time at Silverstone? Something equally abhorrent. It was like, I want to say that Lewis was 11 to 1 to win at Silverstone. At Silverstone in changeable conditions. Yeah, my mum is also Cameron. I don't talk to her really. I try. So I'm a bit harsh as a son sometimes. I try to minimize F1 talk with Mama Cameron, though I do love her to death. It's not worth it. It always descends into 2021. And there are many more subject topics. F1 is much more multifaceted as a subject topic to always happen on 2021 and Abu Dhabi. Yeah, there are lessons to be learned, etc., etc. Bloody Nora, can we change the record? 2021, Michael Massey, Lewis was robbed, Max didn't deserve it. Oh, God. No, I'm cool, thanks. There are other subjects, right? I'm here for the sporting excellence, and there's been a bit of that since 2021 that I can invest in at the hands of Max and Lewis and Charles in small parts, in small portions. While we Mercedes pole settings updated, says Iconic, and to that point, renting's like 860. Honestly, if we talked about the hate, that's the point, Hassan. Don't come on here and give anybody. Listen, if you love a channel, we can talk about it, right? Then they're worthy of some cheeky marketing. But Eddie sometimes gets lured into the marketing paradox, promoting on here people that you don't want to. So if you don't like the channel, then anyway, T-minus 11 minutes away from a FP3 session, and I'm here for it. CHB tinkering after the cut, of course. I mean, don't expect Red Bull to come in and be fifth. Red Bull, fifth. Nah. Speaking of which, Mark Hughes has put out a very sick article talking about numbers. And it feels like, to a certain extent, he's debunked the myth. I listen, with tinfoil hat very firmly on, I'm still not 100% sure on the entirety of the root cause analysis story as far as this inertia valve. Red Bull being able to induce some oversteer, mitigate for understeer. I don't know. I'm not close enough to the circumstance. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But Mark Hughes has come out and he's put together some very basic maths, which I should have done, to be fair, as a noddy bean counter, come forensic accountant when I've had my Weetabix. I'm a bit I hang my head in shame. I hadn't done that same analysis. Here's what Mark Hughes of Motorsport magazine has done. Just wanted to say thank you for your knowledge in this amazing. Oh, Leo Felix, you're warming my heart, sir. Listen, that sort of feedback, I love it. Cameron, I live pretty close to Sandville and it's really pouring down. Don't expect people are going out in FP3. Oh no, Zakaria. Oh no. Could be another washout of a session, eh? Could get techie. Dean, whichever driver you were supporting at the time, 2021 is exhilarating. Are we going to talk about 2021, Dean? Oh, mate. What a crazy season. Honestly, it was a bonkers season that ended ultimately for many in controversy. And yeah, cool. But it was still a brilliant season. I would say just imagine that the last race didn't happen and you've got to give some credit to somebody. Zach Brown and Toto would be all over it if they were doing it. All right, so here's what Mark Hughes had to say of Motorsport Magazine, and go and check them out. Have a read of the article. Subscribe if you like. Somebody once said to me, "You're not paying any money for your written media, no subscriptions. Then that tells me all that you need to know about the quality of content that you're inhaling." Whilst I desperately don't want to pay any more money than I am paying already, £90 a month for Sky Sports F1. What I don't want to do is read a lot of free, not nonsense, but you know what I mean? Sometimes I want to delve into like the goatiest of them as far as F1 media. And I think Motorsport Magazine actually lay a claim to that. Matt Bishop's journalistic integrity isn't lost on me, and he's always got a cheeky, brilliant article in him, and Mark Hughes too. So here's what Mark Hughes has said about the old inertia valve. He had this to say. Oh, we have ourselves the beginnings of an FP1, and I'm not even ready, am I? T minus 8 minutes for a cheeky FP1. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Come on then. Why is Sky Go so rubbish and we pay so much for it? Flipping Nora. Okay, so they're talking about Kimi Antonelli, who we will talk about at some point on the stream, because it's as if it feels like Toto the boy who cried wolf, has leaked something, hasn't he? He said that they've basically sorted out their lineup for next year. It will be Andrea Kimi Antonelli and it will be one George Russell. Broad shoulders, is what Kimi Antonelli's going to need to fill those not insubstantial, very big shoes of Lewis Hamilton. Does that even make sense? How old is he? He's not even 18 years old. And he's the heir to the Lewis Hamilton throne already. That's not fair, is it? Doesn't feel... I don't know. I'm not sure that's right, Toto Wolf. I'm not sure that you're not putting too much pressure on Andrea Kimi Antonelli, but I digress. Right, what are we talking about? T minus 6 minutes till we get ourselves a cheeky FP3 session, which sounds like it might be a little bit of a washout, sadly, for the drivers and the teams. Yeah, Natalie Pinkham saying what I've been saying for the longest time, that Toto will feel he will still be ruining 2015, 2016, having let Max Verstappen, the next generational driver, the next driver of his era, slip through his very grubby fingers. And so he'll be looking to amends for that. But that's like betting fantasy, isn't it? Imagine for a second that Andrea Kimi Antonelli isn't the next one. You are throwing good money after bad. That's the issue. He's taking a very, very big gamble, putting a 17-year-old in the car to replace Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton. But I digress. F1 TV or Sky Sports. Jandrick, I think you've got to rebase that for your delta, right? You've got to risk weight that or cost weight it. Is it £90 a month or is it like £150 a year? Like, take that for whatever you will. Dean, if you want HD TV, then it is what it is. Can you guys hear this madness going on in the background? What's going on, Hanny? I hope you're good. Not on his best day. Jandrick, in UK, you're forced to pay Sky TV unless you want to leverage a cheeky NordVPN. Cannot believe they charge you 90. So the party's starting, but it's rainy and wet. Go on then, let's talk about this Mark Hughes thing, because I think it's noteworthy. Mark Hughes has debunked the oft-trotted out thesis that I've been peddling as well. That Red Bull were leveraging something as far as something, by the way. And again, this is where it gets techie, because depending on who you talk to, Lobato of Spain, the Zone, who broadcast F1 in Spain, he said something to this effect. He had a conversation with senior officials on the grid, and they told him that Red Bull were told to remove something from their car by the FIA, that it was in the spirit of the regulations. This was a couple of races back around, I want to say, Hungary. What the tool was, what the gadget was, whether it was a fiddle brake or something else, it wasn't told. That's your exhibit A. Then you had Racing 365 and F1 Oversteer, who put together the dots and were told something similar. They connected the dots. And an Italian publication, by the way, and said that it was a not necessarily a fiddle brake, the likes of which McLaren had in the late 90s in the hands of David Coulthard and Mika Hakkinen, but something that gave you that effect. That was the rumour and the speculation. And again, some people say that there's no smoke without fire in Formula One, or at least there hasn't been historically. And if past his prologue, then make of that what you will. Raining, we are T-minus 3 minutes away from a cheeky FP3, which forecast to be washed out. Then Mark Hughes has put together some very basic analysis, but it rings true. Here's what Mark Hughes has done to debunk the theory that Red Bull have lost time. He did a calculation based on super times using the quickest time over that weekend, which of course 99% of the time is in qualification. So all he's done over the last 4 races, he's calculated as a percentage of the whole what the differential is in super times terms as a percentage. So from Bahrain all the way through to Spa, he's done the quickest time, Red Bull versus best of the rest, Red Bull versus McLaren, and Red Bull versus Mercedes. And his analysis shows, in essence, long story short, that the gap between Red Bull and the best of the rest is broadly flat. It's that the only thing that's changed materially between, let's say, China, the first 4 races, so between Bahrain and China, and between Miami, or let's discount Miami. Mark Hughes does this for the sake of his analysis. Between Imola and Spa. So what's happened? Red Bull between the gap between Red Bull and the best of the rest, Ferrari for the most part, stasis across the season. It's broadly flat. But what's happened is the gap convergence. When we say convergence, what we're not talking about is Red Bull and the rest of the field. The convergence has happened. It's been driven by the gap, by the gains that McLaren and Mercedes have made. So imagine Red Bull and Ferrari, one of these, between Bahrain and Spa. Broadly, the delta has been flat. There's been no change materially. However, the gap between Red Bull and McLaren, as of the first 4 races, was one of these. Let's say it's one of these. Let me do it physically like this, pictorially. And then post-China, or from Imola through to Spa, the delta gap as a percentage between McLaren and Red Bull's done one of these. So the convergence story isn't between Red Bull and the rest of the field. It's between Red Bull and McLaren, and I don't hate that. So too, similar story between Red Bull and Mercedes. So let's say the gap over the first 4 races, let's say the average was one of these, and then over the next 9 or 10 races, the gap is one of these. So Mark Hughes argues, by virtue of the data, which I like to lean into myself, he argues that what's changed isn't the gap between Red Bull and the rest, it's the gap only between Red Bull and McLaren and Red Bull and Mercedes, that by virtue of the upgrades that those 2 teams have brought, you can tell that there wasn't anything else on that car that they've taken away, and then all of a sudden Red Bull have gotten slow. That's Mark Hughes' thesis, and the data seems to back it up. But sad weather, says Jay. Races with jackets on, it will take some time. Sainz in the car though, yeah, I mean, Sainz need to get some time in, right, courtesy of the fact that he was stuck in 7th gear for too long during FP2 yesterday. Holger's in the car, says Jay. Jandrix, the only VPN I found to work, NordVPN's not too bad, but again, somebody said yesterday that why am I putting a name on a VPN without having financial back? They should be paying for that, Daniel. Do you know what I mean? I know you're saying to Jandrix. That's on you, Eddie. Not to be overtly PC, but that word is insensitive as heck. What's Eddie said? Eddie doesn't care, does he? Eddie gives 0 for. What's the word? You guys tell me what the word is. Eddie, go easy, chap. I didn't use any bad word, just some stars. Eddie's come with smoke this morning. Intro music, says Jay. I think we should stick to F1. So you guys are going to have to police yourself, talk amongst yourself, but be kind. You know what I mean? Too early in the morning for this beefy stuff. I sound Norton, I know. Even if I did have to, Eddie, go easy, Eddie. I don't want to leverage censorship, but do you know what I mean? Bird is the word, says on Jandrick. Yuki keeping V carb on his, but I know. And then when they pitched the question at Kristen Horner yesterday, Naomi, bless her, why is Yuki never in this conversation? Well, Yuki's never in the conversation because Helmut Marko doesn't fancy him. That's why. They don't see him having the temperament. We have ourselves. We're 2 minutes into a rained out FP3 session, but it looks like we're not going to get ourselves any racing, eh? And that's not good. Oh, are they going to get him out? He's going out in the rain. This is a bit risky from Haas, isn't it? Like, what do we like? What do we do, mate? Didn't Hulkenberg just stack it into the barrier about 2 minutes ago? I remember. All right, let's get some metrics out. We can do that, can't we? Honestly, Jay, it's too early in the morning for anything like that stuff. It's far too serious for me. Far too serious. Oh my gosh. Those that are brave for going out on track now when it's Oh dear, 145 of you watching concurrently. Do me a favour and smash the like. No win, says Max. I will get some metrics up. And again, this stream is brought to you by Multivere. Indeed, if you do like that sort of thing, data and metrics using which you can accompany. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear babies in the background? I am not fit for purpose for this. We have ourselves one child and we're not having any more because I cannot. There's this weird thing I was reading about, talking about noise pollution and how it like rubs you the wrong way. You know, when like you do one of these on a blackboard, mate. I cannot. No more children for Cameron F1. I'll tell you that from now. Oh, good. Okay, Joanna, thank you for letting me know. No baby sounds. Relax, Cam. Thank you, Danielle. I just can't cope with it. Just Diego, you're a legend. Smash the like if you can. 143 of you watching concurrently, and this is only FP3. How are we going to get on for qualifying later on? Oh, the humanity. Jay, you're a legend. Thank you for letting me know. Going to get Tucky. It is going to. The kids are a gift, but you can't return them. My stepson is 24 now. Qualified electrician, Max. You've done a good job there. Electrician isn't a bad trade, eh? I wish that I'd done something with my hands, I'll be honest. Something like, do you know what I mean? Rather than just being a bean counter, punching numbers into an Excel spreadsheet and all that. Like, oh, what's that? How's that going to help me, really? What's the practical upside to that? Apart from being able to manipulate an Excel spreadsheet and from time to time a cheeky PowerPoint. Right, let's go. Let's go. Let's get some metrics up here because we can do that, can't we? Do that, I think. Here we are. Here we are. Talk amongst yourselves. I will be with. Here we are. How do you like them apples? Let us go. Who are they talking to, by the way? I can hear a New Zealand accent, but I don't know who it is. Sounds like Danny Rick. Oh, it's Lawson. Okay. Got Lawson in there talking about variability in the process. Liam Lawson sounds exactly like Danny Rick, doesn't he? Huh. Selvin, I have anger issues. Me and you both, mate. Hassan. Stats are always needed. I know. I don't disrespect Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes is one of the god tier ones. When I saw the Mark Hughes article, again, Shez put me onto it, bless him. I was just like, that makes a lot of sense. I probably should have done that piece of analysis before. Cammy could have worked for Williams with those Excel skills. Brilliant. So good. Hey, being a black belt in Excel is a valuable skill. Oh, word on the other hand. Max, I'm telling you, sometimes the V lookups and the H lookups and the VBA and whatever, it's like, oh, spare me. What are we doing? Max, the accents are close but completely different. Max, I'm noddy. It's his tone more than the accent. He used to work with an Aussie guy and he sounds completely different to Danny Rick. It's his tone. Like, I don't know. I was listening blind. Right? I was like, Danny Rick can't be in the Sky F1 broadcast box right now. He's got to be in the car. But I just. Damn, I want it. Heat Lawson or picture. Let's go. Yeah, we've got picture. The accents are close but completely different. I'm seeing Doohan on Sky Sports. Yeah, Doohan. It's Doohan visual because I'm listening to it. Like I'm not watching it at the moment. I've just got my data in front of me. Peter D. Windsor would smash me for doing that. Might actually be worse. Doing talking about his responsibilities at the factory. Yeah, now that he's an F1 driver, of course you can come into the come into the 4 racer. Do you know what I mean? Privileged to have you on Sky Sports F1. As soon as you get that F1 contract, everything changes for your life. Please see Conor McGregor red panty night. Do you know what I mean? Everything changes. Absolutely everything. It's all different now, isn't it? Now you're a driver, a proper F1 driver. Do you know what I mean? It's all the doors are open. Yeah, mate, come into the 4 racer. Russell Crowe. Nah, but Russell's got a very different tone, hasn't he, to him? Very deep and. Do you know what I mean? Can will Max be able to see this championship out? Davey, here's the issue with that. It's a good question. The problem is, look, I did the maths earlier on this, like our mate Mark Hughes of Motorsport magazine. He'll need to score. Lando would look. I worked it out like this: the difference between P1 and P2 in the race, exclude faster slap stuff. But the difference between P1 and P2 in the race is 7 points, isn't it? 18. 25 minus 18. 7. I know. I need more monitor. Yeah, you're a legend, visual. If you see my setup, it's daft. It's me. It's user error. It's not my setup. But I do need more monitors. Thank you so much, mate. I lost my train of thought. Right, 7 points, 25 points for first, 18 points for second place. Right, my very nuddy maths, I worked that out as a 7-point diff. Meaning, therefore, we've got 10 races left. If Lando finished every race between now and the end of the season in first, and Max finished second, that wouldn't be enough. Lando would still need more points. He'd need like fastest laps and stuff. And what's the likelihood of that happening? Genuinely, what's the likelihood that Lando is going to win every single race and Max is going to finish second? So to that question about is Max going to hold on, I think Max will be okay. What will help Max still rise? Holt made it back to the pits just barely, Big damage to still rise. So what will help Max's case, and Helmut and Christian have talked about this, if it was just McLaren as a challenger, say McLaren were the quickest team on the grid and had the quickest package, say it was just them, then it would be a different proposition, right? But because Merck will take points off them, Red Bull will take points off them, so too will Ferrari, Scuderia. Now you've got this weird thing, right, where it's not just, it's chaos theory. Hulkenberg put it into the barrier again. Is it the same barrier? Oh, for flip's sake, Hulk. Oh my gosh, Hulk in the barrier trap. He's even said it over the radio, didn't he? Same thing as yesterday. Oh my gosh, don't let Hulkenberg go out anymore. But Hulkenberg doesn't seem like the type of guy to make the same mistake twice like that, eh? It's a bit techie. And now you got Lawson trying to tell. Oh, Magnussen as well. K-Mag managed to keep it out of the barrier. Lando will never do a win streak. Jay, I don't disagree, you know. Went straight on, says still I rise. Question is, will Max win any more races this year? Death Reaper, surely. I mean, oh, the humanity. No, Max will win more races. He'll pick up another couple of wins. But does he even need to Death Reaper? That's the what is wrong with you, says Lincoln. All right, look, rain check. No pun intended. Currently, quickest of the session. Oscar Piastri, Reagan Meissel 121.8. But again, I just don't think you should be reading too much into these, especially, well, look, they're all getting in lap time because they're assuming that potentially for tomorrow, the race proper, and for later on today for quali, probably more pertinently, that it could be these conditions, right? So they need to get their eye in respectively. They all need to start batting their way into the crease for those cricket fans out there. Like, now it's game time. You can't afford to wait. You need to get the lap time in, or the track time in, or seat time in, as Naomi Schiff says. Well, you guys, let's go and play Roblox. Hulk finds new ways to make mistakes. I know, but he's been all right. Hulk has. I think you've been a bit harsh on Hulk. He's not been too bad thus far this season. He hasn't made too many mistakes. It's been K-Mag. He's been the maker of mistakes. It would have been nice to see if Max was leaving. Joanna, we'll talk about that later, I promise. Don't discount Max. So Toto said that it won't happen in 2025. That means that it won't happen at all for 2026 or maybe 2027. I'm not so sure. Toto will need to tell me that to my face before I believe it. I'll be honest. 150 if you're watching concurrently. Only 50 likes. Do me a favour. Smash the like because it helps the channel massively. Oh my gosh. Everybody going off. Mate, can you imagine if qualifying is going to be like this later? Oh no, another accident. Is that Yuki? Logan in the barrier. Red flag. Big crash. I'm being honest. As a Max fan, the development doesn't have a positive trajectory. He'll pick up another race. Max will pick up another race. Oh my gosh, there's a fire. Get out of the car, Logan. Logan says I'm okay, but you need to get out of the car, chap. Quick, because there is fire. Word on the curb is that Logan has escaped. I am muted. I apologise. I'm just ranting at my missus. Yeah, no apologies. Probably a good job that I was muted because there were lots of expletives in that. I don't understand how you can lose keys, house and car keys so often. How do you lose keys? Doesn't even make sense. Keys for a car and for a house, and now you've got a set of kids locked in a car. If my wife was a bit more, can you hear now? Right, yeah, no, I'm going off expletives. Yeah, no, I'm mad at the moment. Trying to watch myself a cheeky free practice. And my wife, who swears that she's good with keys and she never loses them, has locked 2 kids in the car and doesn't have keys to open them. We have a set. We used to share car keys. Oh my God, Christine, it's techie. We used to share car keys, me and my wife, and then we decided, you know what, it's not good enough. We can't have one set of car keys. Somebody lost the set of keys. Cool. So I decided I was going to pay 200 quid to get another set of car keys cut. Cool. So I got those keys cut and said to my wife, don't touch my keys. Leave them. Those are my keys. You don't do well with keys. You always pick them up and lose them. My wife said, yeah, I never lose keys. It's fine. And now what's happened? Picked up my keys and you've lost them and you've got 2 kids stuck in the car and you're panicking. No, you need to go and sort that out the same way that I had to sort it out before. Sorry. Not having that. I've got Samsung Apple Tag on my cat. Yeah, Paisley. There needs to be, honestly, this isn't my issue. I sorted this out and I have a set of car keys, don't I? Don't touch those and we'll be all right. But no, my wife thinks she's a genius. Yeah, it's gone techie. It's gone very techie, Max. I can't have this. My wife thinks she's a genius. And what has she done? She's taken my keys as well. And now she's got an issue. And Bessie take a few lessons from Horner and say nothing. Wise remember. Mate, I'm talking about it. Know what I mean? Well, Mrs. has to deal with this herself because she's taken my keys, the keys that she swore she wouldn't touch. I feel like we're talking about Checo Perez here, promising to sort out his performance. Listen, if you're going to touch my keys as she break into the car, I can hear an alarm. Alarm's going off. She'll need to, there's a neighbour that can help, but she's got to, she'll have to sort that out herself. This hasn't got anything to do with me. Oh, the humanity indeed, Max. We have ourselves Houston. We have ourselves an issue. But our neighbour's going to have to help out. Both kids are in the car. What do you drive? We drive a Mercedes B-Class. Nothing special. Just to get us around from A to B. Do you know what I mean? One day I harbour aspirations to get myself a cheeky F1 car and drive it on the road. But not for now. I'm not sufficiently financially robust. Do you know what I mean? Women are wonderful, but they can come with some stress. No woman, no cry. But life's still better. But I agree with you. I was listening to whilst we were red flagged and on an advert. I was listening to a podcaster. She's going to watch this. You bring smoke. She won't watch this, Hassan. Doesn't watch F1. She only watches Drive to Survive. What's the 1 mil damage just now? Christian, scorched earth on kit. Dean, I can't have it. I just won't have it. Don't bring me into the mire. That woman, bless her, love her to death. Mother of my child and all this. If the race and qualities were to these wet times from FP1 and FP3 to be trusted, absolutely. But it depends on the extent of the wetness, right? Got to compare apples and apples here. Thank you so much, by the way. You're far too kind for the £5. I wish I could talk that language. The language in which your name is written, but I should be able to. I feel like I studied it at university, a bit of kanji, but maybe that's not. No, that's Mandarin, isn't it? It's not Japanese. I recognise the digits, but yeah, no, I'm not having that. No chance. I've locked the kids in the car. Why have you locked the kids in the car? Because you've touched my keys, love. That's why. Like, had you just left it alone like you were supposed to, then look at me talking like in case my missus is listening. Had you left my keys alone, then you wouldn't have an issue. Now you're gonna have to go and ask favours. My wife's pregnant and has fog brain. Oh my god, oh the humanity, Christian. Congratulations as well, mate. Like the blessing that is. You gotta rub feet whilst they are with child, you know what I mean, and look after. My wife went outside of the wheelie bin when my son was 3 and left the keys in the door. My son then locked the door outside from the inside, locking her outside. Let's go. Apparently then we've all got these stories. A Mercedes can really get yourself a Red Bull car, mate. An Infinity wouldn't be bad, although I think we've all got these issues. Yeah, I'm not having that one though. There's your key and there is my key. Don't touch my key. That's my key. We agreed. The reason why I bought the extra key was to absolve myself from any responsibility. So I have my key and then there is your key. Don't touch my key. Don't do the Checo Perez thing and conflate this. Gone and touched my key and now you have yourself an issue and you want me to get you out of it. No, I'm not involved. You shouldn't have touched my key and then I might have had more empathy towards you. But I digress. Looking again at Logan's, oh my gosh, the conditions are almost impossible there, aren't they? Again, just a slip, just the cheeky, just that. Oh, he's absorbed too much. Why do they not know to don't touch the curb in the wet? Unless your name's Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen, do not touch the curb. It's a very similar instance to what Checo Perez had, isn't it? George telling him to get out the car. George being told that there was a tyre moving down. George doing his best to tell him to get out the car because it was on fire. This appears to be a common problem. I blame the kids and the dog. Yet Max, I'm not blaming the kid. Why do us guys filter certain age while start parenting our parents and partner? It's techie. It's very, very techie, this. I feel like this is a divorce-worthy conversation. Kids are trapped in the car. It's got nothing to do with me. You can sort it all out. I don't care. I had to send my missus her car keys from London to Vilnius in a. I just don't even understand it, Paisley. What are we doing here? Put the keys in the same position. Just leave the keys, the car keys and the house keys in the same position. Oh no, I don't lose keys. I'm so good with my keys. It's only you that loses keys. Well, I lose keys. My keys go in the same place every single time. Like I don't touch them. Come in the house. I know my memory's bad. I come in the house and I put them in the same place so that when I need them again, when I'm leaving the house to get in the car, I know where they are. Now look. My wife has the audacity to touch the radio when she's been a passenger princess. Is a violation, Hassan. Don't ever touch the radio. What do we do? It's becoming a slapstick with Sergeant. I know it's not good, but he's on his way out, isn't it? And I think, although James Vowles has been praising him of late, I think, like, what has he got to? What's the motivation? He's got pressure on his shoulders, right? There's no incentive anymore. He's lost his seat. What's he going to do? Yeah, they want him to stay as a professional motorsport driver. What does that mean? You've signed Carlos Sainz for next year. Next year, the lineup for Williams will be Albon and Carlos Sainz Jr. I'm Logan Sargent. What do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? Getting wet grass is pretty... you just... If you hit the grass, then come out the throttle. Otherwise, that will happen to you. Exactly the same thing happened at Checo Perez in Hungary, right in front of the owners. My wife ran into our house facade and pulling into our... you know what the joke is, Christian? I had a good friend whose missus crashed their Porsche into his Porsche. What do we do? We've got a Cayenne and we've got a GT3. She crashed the Cayenne into his GT3. What are we doing it? And I don't want to get deep into the isms of this. Come on, what, like, imagine you had a GT3 and your missus crashed her Porsche into your GT3. Wally's going to be wild, says Aaron. Absolutely, don't touch my stuff. I have one rule. She has like 10,000 rules. Yeah, this is it, Hassan. What am I doing? Like, what are we doing here? Is there something? Is this like men are from Mars and women are from Venus? Like what are we doing here? Just leave my keys alone. Like, I just don't understand. If you'd not touched my keys, then this wouldn't happen, right? You wouldn't have kids trapped in a car and have to phone somebody and pay them £1 gazillion to unlock the car door. You're talking about they're trapped in the car. Like, go and just, have you got a phone and you can sort it out, right? Like, you need me for? I'm out here streaming. Got another full-time job on the side, love. Like, what's going on here? No, I don't mean to be a scumbag here. Although, I did hear, whilst we're red flagged, courtesy of Logan Sargent, I heard on a podcast the other day, what's going on from Trinidad, Ray? You're a legend, mate. Got to be early over there, Ray. 5, 6 a.m. That was a big hit on the barrier, says Chiba. It has to be. Yeah, it's going to take some time for them to recover that. And they haven't stopped the timer of the session. Makes it more interesting, eh? Qualifying. Logan just wanted to make sure he will not have to give his car to Rob. Albon wouldn't take that car. That car's in a mess. Good luck sorting that out. Paisley says, my missus flew over, had a drink on the plane, couldn't get hold of her. She lost 2 phones. What is he? What's going on, Paisley? You sound like you're describing my missus. My missus bought a brand new phone, got on the plane, like had owned the phone less than 24 hours and left the phone on the plane. What? I just don't even understand these people that lose phones and keys and house keys, and I just don't even understand it. I've seen a teenager on the GSX 1000R ram his bike between his parents' Audi and Porsche after a few. What are we? Who are these people, Max? I don't even get it. How can you lose keys? It just doesn't make sense. As Dewan leaves, bless him. Be good to see you next year, Dewan. Jack, son of Mick. Here's hoping you can nail it. It's interesting that Dewan's dad's name is Mick, and then you've got Mick Schumacher, right? It's a weird circumstance and destiny's crazy. Some jigsaw parts are cheap. Are they cheap, Aaron? Paisley, I have a spare hiking phone. So I don't even get it, honestly, Paisley. You're stressing out my life. I don't even know what's gone on with that circumstance now. Probably should phone my missus just to make sure she's okay. But it's just nonsense. Why am I involved in this? Like, when I lose keys, nobody helps me. I just have to sort it out for my bloody self. But the problem is, I don't lose keys. Don't lose car keys and I don't lose house keys. Again, Viaplay, everybody's swarming around this Williams car now. Look at this. They're trying to protect it. Oh my gosh, they need to cover that. Sponsors will not be happy at the burning wreck that is that Williams. I lost my guys in the freezer somehow, but think it was my stepson playing a prank. Mate, I just don't lose. Who loses keys? Check on her, says Max. You probably need to. Right, let's have a. Let me dial her just to make sure she's right. Nobody's perished in the wreck. I should put her on loudspeaker. I should put her on loudspeaker, but I'm not going to. Checo Perez settings. Own your SH1T. If you make a mistake, you need to correct for that mistake. I think the Aesop's fable in all of this is that sometimes you need to own it first. You know what I mean? Don't own it, then you're doomed to repeat the mistake of Christmas past. Max, you're a legend, by the way, for giving me some good advice to avoid a divorce. Mick was named after Mick. Was he really? That's mad. Visual tree. They should keep the spare chassis spare. Jomo. Cam DP, did he drive to German, French or Japanese car, or maybe Korean? I like Japanese cars, I'm not going to lie. Always grown up on JDM and best motoring. I do enjoy myself a cheeky GTR or a Skyline, or that's always been my bag. Cam drives a B-Class German badge with some Renault underneath. Yeah, B-Class isn't. I mean, what's going on, Seapaul? Facial expression tells the whole story. Aaron, incredulous? Honestly, you can't even write it, mate. 182 of you watching concurrently as I lose my SH1T with my wife, my better half, the love of my life. Yeah, you are a good man. Unbelievable. If I tell you how that story, 15-minute break. Oh, chat, it's getting chaotic, eh? Life sometimes lifes. What's the best lineup for the F1 fantasy this weekend? BK, I've long stopped playing that, I'll be honest with you. I've got a league, but I don't touch it. Look, I'll tell you what about F1 fantasy. The interface is just noddy, I'll be honest with you. As with everything in F1, whether it's the broadcasting, whether it's the way in which they leaven and leverage content creators, whether the way in which the way in which they produce their social media. F1 is about 10,000 years, no exaggeration, 10,000 years or more behind every other sport. You know, this is my favourite subject. When I watch, I don't even watch basketball, but when I watch basketball and it's Shaq and it's Ernie and it's Kenny and it's Charles, these guys are goated. They're just like entertaining. They don't even watch the basketball, but I tune into the basketball guys to hear what they have to say and enjoy their jokes and back and forth as oh gosh, loads of fans look like they're on the way home potentially. Had enough. Or maybe they're just coming in anticipation of quali, bless them. That's commitment, to sit out there in the rain. Proper quali. So I only say that to say this, chat. As far as F1, the way in which the way in which they do everything is 10 gazillion years behind every other sport. Like you watch football, soccer over here, well, soccer in North America, and the way in which I don't know, they're just 1,000 years at, like literally 1,000 light years ahead of F1. F1's just numpty. I've lost my train of thought here. There's a reason why I was talking about this. I can't Liam Lawson video. I've seen it. Datsun 240Z. He's a big car man, isn't he, Liam? He's a big car man. No child's play. Why refer to them as idiots? There is always an idiot finding a wall. BK in the fantasy. Look, so I said all that stuff about F1 being numpty. Because F1 is a numpty. It is always behind. Just chaos. Hold on, bear with. I'll be back. So yeah, the F1 fantasy, the platform is rubbish. BK is the honest truth. If you play like fantasy, I guarantee if you play fantasy NFL, you're not going to tolerate that F1 fantasy in face. It's just nonsense. Like, why would I? I don't know. I just feel like everything's a second rate in Formula One, and I'm tired of it. Like, I just can't. I don't know. It's nonsense. Bear with. We'll be back. Yeah, it's too much chaos. I can't subject myself to this subpar service as far as yeah, I just don't. I'm not going to subject myself to any sort of second class service. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. And we should check out Alex Albon and Liam Lawson doing hot laps together at the Nordschleife. Mate, I'll have a look. At Nordlichter even. Swapping driving and passenger. Mate, I'll have a look at it, Max. I promise. I love that sort of stuff. That's the sort of content that F1 needs to create more frequently, right? Promote the sport. Do you know what I mean? It's Jay, no, Jay. You can't. All right, look, we'll get techie for a second, and then like you can't talk. Americans aren't monolithic. You can't. I know it's banter, but I don't know. You got to be careful. Imagine that I said that, Jay, about British people or people from the Netherlands that they don't have no education. I don't know. It's typecasting and stereotypical, and people will take offence to that sometimes. You got to be a bit careful sometimes. No, as far as F1 fantasy, BK, I don't play it anymore. Can't be bothered. Too long, folks. We're talking banter, but not insulting countries. Let's take it easy. I agree with you, Chris. No need. Like we can chill out. Banter is banter. No, Jay, not that time. Can't group in and like. You can't say an entirety of people don't have education, and not expect people to be cheesed. If you said that about British people, I wouldn't be too happy, Jay. So yeah. Chill out, Jay, there. I think Christian's right. Yeah, let's be a bit grown up about that. Imagine I said all Dutch people don't have education. Be pissed off, Jay. And you'd be entitled to, because that's not very sensitive of me. And inaccurate. F1. Right, let's talk about it. Interface on fantasy isn't good enough, BK. And I'm not prepared. I set up a team and I set up a league, and I'm not interested. To be honest with you. Trying to change my team just became a labour of love. I felt like I was at work. I was just like, nah, no chance. So it's a bit techie, that. It is a bit techie. Red flag conditions still. And we have less than 20 minutes now, eh? Bloody Nora. 20 minutes, 26 seconds. What are we doing? Will we see cars on track before the end of FP3? I don't know. I know if we can't deal with opinions, I'll be throwing people out. Jay, let's have a chat offline, chat. In fact, no, we'll talk about this. Let's talk. We've not got anything else to talk about. We'll get back to F1, Christian. But since we disagree on this point, Jay, to typecast the people is, you can't expect people not to be offended about that, right? To say Americans aren't educated, people are gonna get. I'd probably, but to expect people not to get cheesed off about that is nonsense. Like that's gatekeeping. That's a form of an emotional gatekeeping. Can't tell if I say to you something, Jay, and you get upset about it. Like, I'm grown up enough to say, all right, maybe I shouldn't have said that, rather than say, oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. Get over yourself. No, if I say something to you, Jay, and you get upset about it, I can't tell you. I can't be like, well, no, you just got to swallow it. No, mate, you're a grown-up person. You're entitled to get cheesed off about it. If Christian got upset about something, then we've got to check ourselves, right? I think that's the way it works. Christian, so sorry, F1. No, yeah, no, I concur with you, Christian. We've got to be grown up about this and respectful of each other. Snowflakery is a thing, but I don't think it was that in that sense. Right, let's talk about some F1. I'm done with the politics. Eddie's from the States. Doesn't matter, Jay. Doesn't matter. Just to say one person didn't get offended. We're all grown up here. If you get offended at something, then you get offended at it. And we've got to check ourselves. It can't just be that there is such a thesis as the perfect victim, Jay, and I throw that out at the shop each and every single time. Brits have bad teeth is pretty true in my case. Mineshaft. I take offence. Mineshaft. Do you know what I mean? My teeth are the worst. I'll tell you that much is true. My teeth are the worst. My education is half American, half English, half black, half black. I tread carefully in lands respecting or until psychedelics are legal, we are all uneducated. Why? Oh my gosh. Why aren't more people asking us to know that? Naomi Shiv asked a question to Christian Horner yesterday, didn't she? You know what I mean? It's yeah. Eddie's from the States, isn't he? It's techie. If Mercedes can roll the dice on Antonelli, why can't Horner give Yuki? The face doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. They don't rate him. They don't like him. Cameron, you need to sort out, yeah. Eddie, let's be honest, mate. You have a cheeky. You're a legend, Eddie, but you do have a cheeky line step in you. Wouldn't it be the first time, mate? You know what I mean? Making jokes about disappearing off camera and all that stuff, which I took offence to, by the way, Eddie. I only say that to say, do you know? I know, Christian, it's gone techie now. We've gone full send, but we may as well. Do you know what I mean? We may as well. Oh, fit a bit. Look at this. It's gone. Look at the can of worms that you've opened here now. The chat has descended into chaos. So what happened for the red flag? What happened is that Logan yeeted it. Not dissimilar to Checo Perez a couple of races back at Hungary. Took too much curb. It's wet. If you take curb in a race card, let alone a bloody F1 card, then you've got to jump out the throttle ASAP. And I don't think Logan Sargent did that. He didn't make the necessary amendment. Okay. Yuko's a Honda boy, absolutely. Bernie Collins saying there will be more wind than they expected. Conditions are changing in real time, and they've got to account for this, haven't they? Gonna get techie. 177 if you're watching concurrently, do me a favour and smash the like. Gonna get techie in quali, I'm telling you. Cannot wait. Quali. Gonna get properly techie. Especially if it's these conditions, can you imagine? You might see some god tier stuff. Do you still think Checo is getting the boot after Mexico? Charlie, I still think Checo should have gotten the boot already on the 29th of last month. What do we do? If performance is a real thing and meritocracy is a thing that we respect in Formula One, then why is he still in there? Why? I don't know. Why is he still in there? Obviously, there are other factors that my noddy F1 mind has failed to factor in, take into consideration. But bloody Nora, like, what are we? I don't know. GTR or Corvette. GTR every single day of the week, Ryan. for me personally, my subjectivity, my humble subjectivity, GTR is one of my favourite cars ever, notwithstanding the criticisms of it, that it's not as engaging, as involving for the driver. It drives for you, it corrects your mistakes for you. I've just always, that's a bit of me. We are red flagged. Too early in the morning for me. My verbiage and my skill of articulation has gone by the wayside, yeeted into the barrier, just like Logan Sargent Williams. Have you seen F1 Kids clip? I don't watch the. I don't have time, Jandrick. I don't have time. Jacko keeping his seat is the wildest thing of 2024. Still hungover, Jomo. Man, if Red Bull doesn't have anyone better than Perez, does that mean if Verstappen leaves Red Bull for Merc, Merc will literally take 100%, Rayhan? That's where I am. That's what I think. That's what Toto Perez, Toto, the boy who cried wolf, has wanted all this time. He wants himself some Max Verstappen, doesn't he? 2026. Still on. Confessed that they were having conversations over the summer break, but Toto in the end said, all right then, done with it. Like, just yeah, it's techie, isn't it, Rosie? When it's coming out, I kind of hope it would be like that. Oh yeah, everyone's taking their bloody tops off and stuff. Oh, the humanity. We'll want to get Russell to Red Bull, because who else? The chat is that George is looking at Audi. Look, so the only remaining place is still to be confirmed for 2025. For what it's worth, is the Audi seat alongside Sauber, soon to become Audi, alongside one Hulkenberg, and Danny Rick's seat. He hasn't signed a contract yet, has he? I'm asking because Horner. It's techie, this. I was thinking of this, Cam. I could genuinely see George going to Red Bull if he feels betrayed. Mate, George Russell is a killer. King George Russell, first of his name, Kingsland, Norfolk. What do you mean? He doesn't mess about. He just doesn't mess about. Looks like this is it until quali. What can they do in 10 minutes? Nothing. 12 minutes remaining in the session. And I don't even think they'll get it. They're still tinkering with the barrier, trying to get that sorted out. They don't have a lot of time, do they? Going to get techie. But Audi's a bit dodgy compared to Red Bull, but at this point in time, really. Yeah, no, he'd go to Audi. I think Carlos desperately wanted to do it because of the ties that his dad has with Audi, like winning all those bloody WRC and Dakar and whatever with them. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it in the end. It's going to take him too long to get up to speed. And that's time that Carlos Sainz Jr. doesn't have. He's too old. At 29, he'll be 30 next year. Like, Audi's a bit dodgy compared to Red Bull at this point. By the way, for the avoidance of that, we still have ourselves a red flag circumstance. They didn't start the timer. 11 minutes 34 remaining. Either humanity might help. Might get a lap and a practice start. Maybe Paisley. All the Dutch fans are moving from place to place. They've had enough, haven't they? I was thinking of this, Cam. I would genuinely like to see George going to Red Bull if he feels betrayed. I've read it already, haven't I? So, but it might happen. That might actually happen. Too techie. I hope he doesn't get out of trends. Science downgrading that some of these top drivers lose top seats due to unfair circumstances. It's true. F1's a weird and wacky way. It is dodgy, isn't it? F1, like it's, I don't know. It's very, very dodgy. F1. There are so many different threads and different pieces and different facets that go into these things happening. It's more than just that, isn't it? It's more than just how good you perform on track. Although especially not in the case of one Checo Perez. T-minus 10 minutes to the end of a very chaotic FP3. By the way, roll call. Has anybody noticed that Fernando Plan Alonso is currently the owner of the quickest lap this session? Bloody Nora, how much can you read into that or not, as the case may be? Piastri, Stroll, Magnussen. Oh, it's a topsy-turvy grid, isn't it? F1 is just fun. Joanna, I agree with you, Anne. And this feels like it's been a bit of a morbid stream. Me cracking off at the missus and Joanna, you need to check me if I'm being harsh to my wife here. You know what I mean? I love seeing the Dutch fans great, but I agree with you, Paisley. It's something special to see a fan base come out to celebrate their driver, right? And F1 don't do that enough. You can't hear me very well. What's going on there? Do I need to turn up? Can you hear me now? Oh, the humanity. I think it's innovative for F1. Nothing happening, and I'm annoyed later. Cheers, Jay. Thank you, mate, for being a constructive moderator. Appreciate you, chap. Stand corrected. So much fun. Right. Not sure why Red Bull is not putting Lawson in a seat. What do I know? Ray. Oh, it's techie. Like I said, there's so many different things at play. It's multifaceted. There are your grand cap Paisley. Paisley, it's techie, isn't it? Not everybody. You can hear me now. All right. Cheers, Moonbathing. You're a legend. Too loud now. Oh, the humanity. What are we gonna do? Bit a bit. Thank you for letting me know. It's madness. This is ever moving. Are the goalposts in F1 still repairing the fence? There's not gonna go. Imagine African fans at Kayla, mate. Rayhan. This is why they need to go there. Like they need to celebrate. No, we can hear you well. Cheers. So I think after Mexico they might. Well, this is the problem. But then they've got to go to Mexico the same time next year, right? Carlos Slim's not having that. Max Verstappen was already getting death threats last year. Imagine they get rid of, mate. Good luck going there. 12:25. They start again. 25 past. I've just seen it. 3 minutes time, so they'll get a couple of laps then. Christian Corner's a fruitcake. No, Christian Corner is not a fruitcake. I don't know why we can't just be. Honestly, I don't know why. Look, I used to run a podcast with some mates where we used to talk about issues that weren't F1. If as a grown person, if you tell me that you're offended, I have to just respect that, right? I can't turn around and tell you that you're a douchebag for being offended and that you need to grow a pair. What? Not if I respect you as a person. 3 minutes to drive again. New footage is better. No, it's chaos, Max. That onboard is a big incident, isn't it? No, but do you know what I mean, Christian? Am I being daft here? If I respect you as a human being and you tell me that I've said something that upset you, like, yeah, no, I don't respect that. I don't respect that. If I say that I'm upset about something, you want to respect the facts that I've told you. I respect you enough to tell you that I'm upset. Respect that then. Don't turn around and tell me that I'm a douchebag and that it was just a joke. Growing up all my life with that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's why it cuts deep. No, we can't. Otherwise, we kind of, everybody, we're all fans, cool. There we go, Max. Do you know what I mean? PTSD out here. Like growing up in an all-Caucasian area, Sutton Coldfield in Birmingham, the amount of times that I took offence as a young lad to people telling me, oh, you're this, you're that. And then I'm like, I'm upset going to the teachers and trying to have a conversation. They'll be like, Cameron, just brush it off. Just man up. They were just joking. They weren't just joking. I'm upset. Respect that then. And you guys have brought, this chat today has brought me back to that. And I kind of, Christian, don't worry, mate. Yeah, no. Don't worry, Christian. Now I'm backing you in this, Christian, because this is my circumstance that we're talking to. Non-F1 things again, and it's awfully boring if we're talking real world things and serious stuff. But don't flipping trivialise my being upset about something. No. Why the red flag? Logan Sargent yeeted it into the barrier, took too much curb. I mod for Cat and Twitch sometimes. Mice just play. Yeah, I agree with you, Max. Christian, that's what I said, based in my opinion, and solid. Yeah, I don't, Christian, I'm right there with you, Joe. And you know what? Everything else be damned, ultimately. People tend to be more confrontational. From behind the laptop, digital communication has created a level of disrespect and false bravery. Mr. B, you are right. The internet warriors are strong and distracting. Yeah, Logan Sargent. 5 minutes 43 seconds remain in this session. Nobody's going to get any time, are they? 25. So they'll open in a second. Yeah, Logan yeeted it. Bad crash. Fire. Carlos Sainz Jr. Austria a couple of years ago, reminiscent of. Oh, Oh no, Derek. Oh no. But he's got to be tough. Lawson's quick, and I get Piastri-like coolness from him. He seems like a good dude. Guys, just remember, Cammy's trying to build here exactly this. Trying to build a community in the world of F1 where we can all get together and be objective and have good decision. Please respect. Sal, took the words right out of my mouth. I'm a bit cheesed off, you know, I'll be honest with you. This whole thing's just cheesed me right off. Put me straight back to being 5 years old again and getting told, like getting abused and being told, Cameron, just brush it off. No, I won't brush it off. What are you talking about? Got a problem here. No, I'm offended. Why am I going to suck it up? It's just jokes. No, it's not just jokes. No, I'm offended. I'm a grown person and I don't get offended easily. Stop telling me that I'm a snowflake. I'm not a snowflake. I'm offended. You're sending my ticket receipts to Logan. Oh dear, yeah. He's messed it up, hasn't he? 4 minutes remaining this session. Oh, wow. They're all going to run out and it's going to be session washed. They're all going to go out quickly, aren't they? Trying to get a couple of minutes worth. Every second counts at this stage. Derek. No, I'm not having it. Nah. Gonna put me back. I'm eating Chinese food tonight. Me and you both fit a bit. You know what I mean? Sending my ticket. 171 of you watching could only do me a favour and smash the like. Been a very disjointed stream this. Qualifying will be more F1. I promise, proper F1. Not talking about who abused you, Cam. Can we not turn this channel? Yeah, no, I agree with you, Attic. Scrub a tire or two. I blame Christian. How very dare you, Christian, have a conscience? You know what I mean? No, I'm joking, Christian. I'm joking. Chibi, they're going out. Let's go. Matt's Cammy's ice cold. Just ask him about Key. Honestly, mate, don't even do it. Scorched earth over it again. I just can't even do it. Telling me that I'm a snowflake. That's what I had to deal with all my life, but I digress. Let's talk about some F1. Great comparison, Christian. What keys? Exactly that, Aaron? Mate, no, Christian, don't apologise for that, cha. Do not apologise for that. You're absolutely right. Just say you are eating food tonight. You don't have to specify where the food is from because people get sensitive. Chris, behave. Brazil has to be last in a driver. Right, 184 of you watching concurrently, and we go. No, don't be that. Don't apologise, Max. Not for that. You hurt somebody's feelings, then it might be smart to apologise if indeed you respect them. What's going on here? Why have we got traffic? 2 minutes remaining. Like, let's get something going out here. Like, come on, USA. Oh, the shoe down. It's gonna get techie. Mate, we haven't got time for orderly fashions. Like, less than nearly 1 minute on the clock. How did it go into red? Half the grid has no time now. Logan Sargent just messing about, and it took them that long to repair. I think when they're repairing the barriers, surely you just got to stop the timer. Yeah, am I being daft here? Surely this is just common sense. What are we doing? Essentially half the session. Drivers love haters, mate. Living on the edge, it's chaos, eh? Lovers love, haters hate, moderators mod. Mate, there will be casualties in war sometimes and when feelings get out. But I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Not on this one. This isn't an issue that I'll be drawn upon anymore. Not on this channel. Sometimes you've got to just do a mea culpa one. Can't always be snowflakery and your fault, not mine. We are 1 minute remaining in the session. 1 minute 30. Christian cries in a closet. Nah, Christian's not crying in a closet, Chris. You're entitled to your voice, Moon Baby. That's what we're doing on here. Talking about F1 in a way that's respectful each and every single time. And respect, sometimes they say, is a two-way street. You know what I mean? Max, that crash was stupid. I know it was a crash. It was a big hit. And there was fire. Take your bets who's crashing again. I think they'll stick it on. They'll stick it on. Although Checo Perez does like to take too much curb, doesn't he? But he can't. He can't this time. Oh, wow, look at Max going through in the pit lane, overtaking a McLaren. If you see a gap, oh my gosh, look at Max Verstappen just overtaking in the pit lane. White line, Max Verstappen. They won't punish him. They won't punish him. Okay, getting past Piastri, they said, was good. You can't. Oh, wow. Partially over the white line was Max Verstappen. I had to tell my 7th grade teacher that you have to give respect. You must always leave a respect. Respect is a two-way street. John Jones, there has to be a certain amount of time between practice and quali. They can't extend it. Yeah, this is true. And they've got other sessions, right? F2 et al. K-Mag's going to poll. Mate, Fernando Alonso is going to poll per my reading. Oh my gosh. Checo Perez missed the checkered flag. What's the point? What's the point? Cheeky, but it's allowed. Super safety mode. Oh, they're going for it. Look at this. Be careful that you don't yeet it, lads. We can't have that again. Is that the only type of control? Oh, Max, has you really got a black and white? Oh no, Joanna. Why couldn't this be Q3? It might be like this in Q3 depending on the conditions. We're going to have to stay tuned. Sebastian Vettel shows V10. V10 should come back. Yeah, Jandrick, he's not wrong. V10s would be nice. Go and check out the podcast as well. Bring back V10s again, one of the go-tos. Why not become a member? You're a legend, Jomo. Focus on the task in hand. We are end of session. No, don't retract that, Jomo. You're a legend. Race mode switched on. Paisley says, all right, so we're coming towards the end of the session. Not much to read again. Pierre Gasly drops a purple one. Don't hate that from Pierre. So we've gone Pierre, Magnussen, Bottas, Norris, Alonso. It's a topsy-turvy session, isn't it? Again, track evolution. Whoever got a last lap in there, that will be important. They're going to be top of the session as far as the quickest lap set. Oh, the humanity. What are we doing? That is your FP3. Not a lot to take away from it again. Topsy-turvy session. Red flag. Logan Sargent yeeting into the barrier, absorbing too much curb, taking liberties with the circumstance. I don't know what's going on. Race control. Why waiting? It's techie, this. I don't know what they're going to do as far as that Max Verstappen thing. I think they've got other things to be dealing with, right? Have they? They're not going to be interested. We need a rain shower before quali. Visual, and we might get that. Gasly, Magnussen, Bottas at the top. Unbelievable, right? Let's have a look at this Max Verstappen incident again. What's the rule? If you cross it at all, right? Doesn't need to be the entire wheel, I don't think. Ah, there you go. Oh, the humanity. What are we doing here? I digress. You're a legend, Jomo. Put a smile on my face. Crofty makes the argument that, oh yeah, he did have to correct. He did have to correct, and it is just too narrow. Anthony D makes the point. Max is going to get a penalty, says Cheaper. Maybe. McLaren are not going to be happy with that pit lane incident. Rising SP3 resumed. Oh, the humanity. That's the end of this session. Listen, we'll be back. Qualifying will be later on, and it will get more techie, I promise. And we'll be talking more F1. I'm not dealing with the nonsense again. I've got too much PTSD already. Far too much emotional baggage at the moment. But I digress. You guys have been legends. Thank you so much for joining the stream. FP3 is over. These guys are doing practice starts. It will get techie later on. Weather dependent, we will see what happens. There is a lot of circumstances and automotive pugilism as far as the ever-evolving Rubik's Cube that is Formula One that needs to be solved for in short order, and we will get our answers in qualifying. See you later, 30 minutes before lights out for qualifying, where we will be chopping it up as always on all things the one, the Fs. What are we doing here?